Wasn't good for me either. Well, I'll tell you what, God, I'm so glad to have all of you here this morning. Good. Boy, it's just a wonderful to look out and see all of you there, and bless my soul by being here. And we pray that we will bless you before the day is over. It is good, though, to see Brother J.C. and three of his sisters here this morning.
Amen.
And we're glad. My sister said, I'm going to go. And I went in at 7 o'clock this morning. I said, get out of that bed. We're going to church. Oh, I ain't going. Okay. I'll let you slide today. But anyway, it's good to be here. It's good again to see all of you here. Now, how many of you come just to receive something from God and be blessed? Brother Don and Sister Jean back. They've both been very sick. And good to see them back this morning. Well, and I forgot her name. It's good to see her, our neighbor. And her granddaughter's back this morning. They've been missing for a little while. And I can't remember her name, so you'll have to forgive me. But yeah,
Mary.
Okay, what? Mary. Oh, that was a hard one. If you don't know me, you'll learn me. Okay. I just sometimes I just do. Well, I want to ask you, if I ask you a question this morning, if I ask you to give me a list of words that doesn't belong in the Christian vocabulary, that list would be very long. And most of you wouldn't even want to write them down, right? But there's one word that is that too often has become part of a Christian's vocabulary, and that word is impossible. Are you with me?
Amen.
That word is impossible. I'm going to read you quite a few scriptures, and I'm going to share a little bit. I just feel this in my heart. The word impossible does not belong in our vocabulary.
That's right.
It does not belong in our vocabulary. We find over in Isaiah chapter 46 and 10. And I'll try to do these slow. If you want to write them down, I'll try. Isaiah 46 and 10 says, declaring the end for the beginning, from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Amen.
Words directly from God that said that has not been done yet will be done. How will it be done? It will be done if we eliminate the word impossible from our vocabulary.
That's right.
If we remove that word from there, then we can see these things. This is a promise directly from God. Now I'm going to read a few scriptures here. Matthew 17 and 20. And he said to them, because of the littleness of your faith, that is your lack of or firmly relying trust. Did you catch that? When you utter the word impossible, then you are not showing a firm relying trust in God.
Amen.
That's right.
For truly I say to you, if ye have faith that is living, a faith that is alive, a faith that is active. He said, like a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say to the mountain, move from here to yonder place, and it will move.
Amen.
And nothing will be impossible to you.
Amen.
I said nothing will be impossible to you. I don't care what it is. We move over to Matthew 19. I don't read a lot of scriptures, but I want to get this out today because I believe there's some people here that are facing some impossible situations. There's some things in your life that seem impossible to you. And as far as you fixing them, they are impossible. But those things which you cannot fix belong to God. Those things that you cannot change belong to God. God. They're not yours. They belong to God. The impossible, when you think about impossibilities, that's nothing more than God's golden opportunity.
Amen.
Said in the 26th verse, said, but Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all. I said all.
Amen.
I said all. That means everything, totally and complete. He said all things are possible. Oh, I don't care what it is you're facing today. There is nothing that will overtake you if you put your trust in God. There is nothing impossible for you if you will just trust God.
Amen.
And we find in Mark the 9th chapter and the 23rd verse, he says it like this. And Jesus said, you say to me, if you can do anything. Then Jesus says, why? Okay, now this is the Amplified Bible. You won't find it in King James. But he said, and Jesus said, you say to me, otherwise you ask me, if you can do anything. Then Jesus answers back with the question, why do you ask that? Why do you say things are impossible? I'm not asking you, Jesus is asking you. Why are you saying things are impossible? Why are you saying it can't happen? Why are you saying it won't happen? Why? He said, I won't know why you're asking me, can you do anything? He's telling them what I've been teaching you. He said, all things are possible. Are possible to him that what? Believes. And when you look at situations and you call them impossible, you are doubting God's ability to do anything for you.
That's right. That's right.
I said, you are telling God, God, you're not big enough.
That's right.
You're telling God, God, you're not mighty enough. God, you can't do this, so I've got to try to find somebody that's greater than you to do it for me. Oh, you must say, I would never say that to God. When you say things are impossible, when you deny the power of God, you're telling God you're looking for somebody greater than Him. Well, I'm going to tell you this morning, there's nobody greater than the God that I serve. There's nobody more powerful than Jesus that lives inside me. And I want you to know there is nothing impossible with the God that I serve. I don't know about your God, but my God is greater than all the world. My God is greater than all situations. My God is greater than all the possibilities. And I want you to know I trust my God. I believe in Him because there is no other.
Hallelujah.
I said there is no other greater than the God that we serve. And then we get over into Luke chapter 37, Luke chapter 1 verse 37. He said this, for with God nothing is ever impossible.
That's right. Amen.
You see, the key word before impossible is ever. When you tell somebody that you love them forever, forever means from the time that those words come out of your mouth until you lay your body down and close your eyes in death.
Amen.
That's what ever is. That's what ever is. Ever can't be described any more stronger than that when you heard the word ever. But he said, and no word from God shall be without power or impossible of fulfillment.
Hallelujah.
You see, listen, some of you's going through some things. Some of you's going through some battles. But I'm going to tell you something this morning. God is in that battle with you. I said, you are not alone. It's not your battle. When David went out to fight Goliath, David said, the battle is not mine, but it belongs to God. The battle isn't mine, Bill, but it belongs to God. My trials, my troubles, my testings, my tribulations, they don't belong to me. They belong to God. And when you start saying, oh, my troubles, my tribulations, and my trials, you own them.
Amen.
They're yours then.
That's right.
God said, since they're yours, you deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's right.
Oh, you want them? They're yours. You can have them. And when you're tired, of fighting your trials, when you're tired of fighting your tribulations, when you're tired of fighting your battles, I challenge you to turn around and give them to God and say, God, your word said all things are possible to them that believe, and then start believing and start trusting God and standing on the word of God, and they'll no longer be yours. They'll belong to God, and God will bring them to pass.
Amen. Amen.
We find over in the 14th chapter, we know this story. In the 14th chapter of Matthew about Peter, but I want you to know something. If we never step out and attempt the impossible, we will never know what God can do for us. We will never know what God can do for us if we never step out to attempt the impossible.
That's right. Amen.
How long has it been since you tried something beyond the ordinary?
That's right. That's right.
How long has it been since you tried something beyond the ordinary? Well, I call the prayer line.
Mm-hmm.
I call the prayer chain.
Yep.
But what do you want me to do? What else can I do? I call the prayer chain. I call the pastor. I called all my friends. And what did you tell them about when you were calling? You were telling them about your problems.
Right. Come on.
You were telling them about your woes, your hurts, your heartaches. Oh, you were telling them about what you had. Listen, there's a lot of things I had I like to talk about. There's a lot of things I've had in my life I didn't want to talk about. But I'm going to tell you something. Nothing that goes against me, that's come against me through the powers of Satan is mine. And I don't want to talk about it.
Amen.
I won't talk about it. I won't give it to God. Why? Because they're my impossibilities. I can't do anything about it. So therefore, what I can't do anything about belongs to God.
Amen.
And the things that you can do something about generally comes about because of something you've done you probably shouldn't have done.
That's right.
No, not all the time. I don't say all the time. No, not all the time. Don't misunderstand me. But there's things that we face that come against us is our own fault. But then there's always those things that can't. But listen, your answer is knowing that there's nothing impossible with the God that we serve. There is nothing impossible. He can do all things. Listen, He spoke this world into existence when He looked out and He seen nothing. The Bible said He looked out into the void. And into the void means nothing. You see nothing. But He created this world and He created everything there is. He breathed life into your body. He made you who you are and what you are. He gave you the abilities to do everything that you could do that you said you could not do. How many of you ever took a job and they told you to do something and you felt it was an impossibility, but because you wanted the benefit of the paycheck, you chose to take the challenge and the impossibility? Don't tell me that you don't believe that God is possible of doing all things. When I got promoted in the city of Phoenix to a mechanic, one of the pieces of equipment wasn't running right. But you know what I told him when I interviewed? I said, I can do it. I didn't go in there and say, well, you know, I can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I said, if it can be done, I can do it. Now, I didn't tell him it might take me a little longer than someone else. I didn't tell them that I was going to struggle maybe with some of this stuff. But I told them I could do it. I wanted them to believe in me.
Amen.
I wanted them to look at me and say, well, there's nothing impossible with what he can do. He can do what we need to do. Some of the stuff I didn't know what to do. But I could read.
Amen.
I could read.
Right.
And I could follow instructions. And the first time they brought one of them mowers in, and they said, this thing's missing, and it won't run, and he's having all kinds of problems. And so I got into it, got checked it out, and I've never tore one down like that before. And the guy said, well, every 250 hours, you have to pull these engines, tear them down, and you have to grind the valves, the ground seat, and valve seats, and you got to do this and put it all back together. And I said, I've never done that. I've never done that. I asked the guys, I asked the other mechanic that had been there for a couple of years, I said, how you do that? He goes, I don't know, never been one either. I went and got my own book out. And I began to read it. I was not going to let them see the impossibilities in what I could do. I refused to let them see the impossibilities of what I can do. I got that thing out and I pulled that thing out and pulled the engine out of it, tore it all apart. And I said, here goes. I said, where's our valve grinding stuff? He goes, we don't have any. I said, where's our valve grinding tools? He goes, I don't have any. I said, how am I going to fix this? He said, we're going to have to buy some. So I go to the boss and I said, I need to buy a couple of tools. He goes, what for? I said, oh, I've got to fix this machine. I didn't want to tell him that I didn't have the tools to fix it with. So they bought me the tools. Took me about a week. But I did piece by piece, slow by slow, put everything back together, started up, it hung. That foreman said, oh, thank you, man. We were down a machine and it was costing us time. Why? Because I didn't want them to see my impossibilities. God does not want you to see any impossibility in Him. He has as much confidence in you as you should have in Him.
Amen.
See, He believes in you as much as you should be believing in Him. So why do you say that? Because when you were a sinner, bound by all kinds of sin, and you fell on your knees, and you went to Him, an impossibility of ever being different, an impossibility of ever being free from the sin, an impossibility of a life ever changing. God looked at you, believed in you, saw no impossibilities, but saw possibilities, and saw what He could make of you, and He believed in you. He saved you. He changed you. And so from there on, He believed in you as much as you should believe in Him. Amen. Peter certainly attempted an extraordinary feat. And we find that in the 20, starting in, well, let's just go to the 28th verse. You know the story. 28th verse of the 14th chapter of Matthew. You see, we can learn from Peter's actions. How many of you know you can learn from someone else? In my 23 years of working in that shop, I made friends with a lot of master mechanics. That's what they called us then. Now we're technicians, I guess. We were mechanics in them days. I made friends with everyone that I could in every place I did business. Arizona Lawn and Power, Arizona Machinery Company, or Horizon Turf, all of them. I mean, if they had mechanics, they had master mechanics. These guys have been to the factory, been to school. I made friends with all of them. You know why? Because when I faced an impossibility, I got on the phone and I called them up one by one and said, hey, depending upon what they worked on and what I was working on, I'd call them up and I'd say, hey, George, over at Arizona Machinery. I said, man, I need some help.
Amen.
He said, what's going on? I said, well, this has happened. That's happened with my John Deere, and I can't figure it out. He goes, well, if you'll do this and you'll do that, it's going to work. I will do this and I will do that. I didn't go and do the opposite, JC, of what he told me to do. I didn't say, well, that sounds good, but I'm going to try something else. I'm going to call the guy that works on the Toros. No, I went to the man that created the machine, the man who's a professional on it, and I did what he said. I'm telling you, stop going here and there looking for answers. Stop going here and there, reading everything and studying everything, looking for the answers. Go to God. All things are possible to them that believe. And I'm telling you, if you will do that, someone will learn from your experience.
Amen.
Someone will learn to trust God from what you're doing. 28th verse. It says, and Peter answered him, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the waters. I'm going to tell you something. If you're talking to God, you don't have to worry about, like Peter did, whether it's really God.
Amen.
I said, if you're talking to God and you're talking from a sincere heart, you don't have to worry about whether you're talking to God. You just call and say, God, that song we sang many years ago, it's me again, Lord. I got that prayer that needs an answer. It's me again, Lord. I got a problem I can't solve. I'm telling you, friend, there's nothing wrong with having problems, but don't own the problem. Give it to God. Give it to God. He said, and he said, come. So Peter, without a doubt of fear, without a doubt of fear, stepped out. Listen, I would have to know, triple know, double dog dare know, that it was God to tell me to step out on the water in the lake. I can't even swim. I would have to know it was God. I'm going to tell you something. Some of us need to get that understanding in our heart that we know that if God don't do it, we're in trouble. If God doesn't do it, it's not going to get done. I don't know if that's proper English or not, but when Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water, and he came toward Jesus. You see, there is nothing wrong with attempting the impossibility.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with thinking and praying about something and trusting in something that is totally impossible. Why? When God sees you do that, He sees your faith. And when He sees your faith, He knows your heart. And He knows your heart. He knows who you are. And He already has seen and heard. And He knows your impossibility. And He is there to answer that impossibility. In the 30th verse, it says, but when he perceived and felt the strong wind. We pray about it, we feel strong about it, but then when we step out, all of a sudden we begin to feel the pressures of safety. We begin to feel the pressures of Satan trying to get us to waver in our faith. Trying to get us to begin to say, wait a minute, will this or will this not really happen? Well, with that attitude, it's not going to happen for you. Because faith and doubt cannot come out of the same spout. You can't pour bitter water and sweet water out of the same pitcher. And how many of you know that the bitter always overtakes the sweet? Always overtakes the sweet. I don't care what it is. You can have tea as sweet as you can get it. And you put just a little bit of salt in there, and guess what? The salt will overtake the sweetness of the tea. Fear and doubt will always overtake your faith. But when he perceived and felt a strong wind, and he was frightened, and he began to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me! I'm going to die! You know why? Because what was impossible just a few steps back have now become impossible. Well, you start out all right. We start out all right. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to trust God. You want to bless God. The devil ain't going to do nothing to me. And, well, we start out that way. But I'm telling you, if we don't stay that way, if we don't keep that attitude, we don't keep that spirit towards God, all of a sudden the impossibility that we have will become a reality. And it will overtake us. Peter realized, uh-oh. What did he do? He took his eyes off of Jesus and he looked at the impossibility. And he's thinking to himself, now I don't know, this is grammarology, not theology, but he's thinking to himself, what was I thinking about? What made me think that I could do the impossible? What made me think that I could walk on water? And when he began to think those thoughts and the storm began to come, what did he do? He took his eyes off of Jesus and he began to sink. Listen, take your eyes off of Jesus and your impossibility will become a reality.
Amen.
You take your eyes off of Jesus and that thing is going to come and it's going to bite you. Verse 31. Instantly Jesus reached out his hand, caught hold of him, saying to him, O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? Why did you doubt? You were out here. You were walking on water. Man, you were doing something that only I have ever done. Can you imagine doing something that only Jesus has ever done? Man. Something that nobody else has ever done but Jesus, period. Bottom line. No place in history had anybody else ever walked on water but Jesus. And you being given the power and the authority to do something that nobody else has ever done. Jesus had never, nobody but Jesus.
Amen.
Can you imagine that? And then you blow it. And you blow it. Yeah, he did walk on water, there's no doubt. But you see, he didn't walk his way back to the boat. Jesus was probably carrying him. He didn't walk his way back. It's one thing to do something, but it's one thing to do it victoriously. Peter could have had a victorious miracle. I mean, can you imagine the brag? I mean, come on, let's face it. Can you imagine the bragging rights? You know? I used to go fishing with some guys. We used to have a ball. But there was one of them, I hated for him to catch the biggest fish. I don't care if I caught more than him. I just didn't want him to catch the biggest. Because he didn't care who caught the most. He was only interested in who caught the biggest. And he just brag and brag and brag. And we'd come back to town or whatever and get her, wherever we was at. And first thing out of his mouth, I caught the biggest. But you only caught one. We got 5 or 6 or 7. It didn't matter. He had the bragging rights for the biggest. And see, Peter would have had, you talk about bragging rights? If Peter would have followed through and walked back to the boat on his own, he probably never would have denied Christ. He probably never would have denied him. But when we get in the middle of it, and we're gaining ground, and we're getting good, and things are going well, and all of a sudden, we give up, and we start to sink, and then we're like Peter, oh God, look what you've done to me. No, God did that to you. Don't hang out on God. God didn't do that to you. But Jesus will always come to your rescue. First of all, if you're going to follow Peter's example, you have to exercise your faith. You've got to exercise your faith. Mark 23 says, if thou can't believe. Well, I just can't believe that. You believe in everything you see on Facebook? I know you must believe it. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general, okay? Before I start getting songbooks thrown up here. I can tell what some people believe by what they repost. They believe all of Satan's lies. You see, if thou canst believe. Second of all, Peter exhibited courage. He was not afraid to trust in God.
Amen.
Don't be afraid to let go of it. Don't be afraid to turn it loose. Because when you turn it loose, it's in God's hands. It's not going anywhere. God's going to take care of it. But we want to hold on to it. We feel if we just hold on to a little bit of it, we have some control over it. You lost control over it when you give up and decided that it was an impossibility. When you decided that nothing could change.
Amen.
When you decided at that point that you didn't know if God could do it or not, you lost control of it. And it became an impossibility. You see, obedience is better to obey than to sacrifice. The Bible said, well, how do I obey God? What does the Bible say? If you believe, all things are possible. So what does he say? Believe. He's not asking you to get up on top of the church and tap dance. He's not asking you to do somersaults across the parking lot. He's asking you to believe. He's asking you to do something that you can do. Went out hunting with a couple buddies of mine this past couple of days. We get there and they're going to take two Broncos, and so we got about 5 miles up the road, and one of them's flashing his license, the other one just broke down. And I'm thinking, I'm the littlest of the three, but I'm not that flexible. I can't fold and spin and all that stuff like I used to, you know. So we get there, and the guy said, well, so we're going to have to park this one, and we'll just take this other one and we'll go. And then the thought hits me, I've got to get in that little space like that. I got to try to fold my body into that space like that. You see? And then there's a big guy like this, he goes, oh, don't worry about it, I'll get back there. And I'm going, thank you, Jesus. I said it, believe me. I meant it. But you see, I could have. And I could have believed that I did, and I could have got back there. But it's so much easier just to stand there and wait for God. There's a lot easier to wait and say, Lord, please. That's a true story. And every time we got out of that Bronco and he got back in it, I thanked Jesus. He goes, oh, no problem. They had all their hunting gear in there. And you also go ahead and have your rifle and have your backpack and all that. And the seat's getting smaller for him. And I'm just being thankful.
Yeah. All right.
I was being thankful. Because why? It wasn't going to be a total impossibility, but it was going to be a challenge. I thank God in our challenges. If you're attempting the impossibility of the salvation of a companion or children, I'm telling you, trust God. Quit trying to save them yourself. Quit trying to save them yourself. Quit telling them they're going to die and go to hell. They know where they're going. Quit telling them those things. If they're, you say, well, it just seems like they're never going to happen. Stop saying that. By faith, He has promised me my household. And by faith and my trust in God, all things are possible. So therefore, my unsaved companion will find Jesus. My unsaved children will find Jesus. My sick body will be healed. My sick body will be delivered. I will have the power to forgive. I will have the power to love that person that I cannot stand. I will have the power to love those that I hate.
Yes. Amen.
Oh, that was good up until you got there, preacher. You know something? Without God, it is impossible to overcome hatred and have the ability to forgive. You cannot do that without God. Amen. Sister Bertha, would you come? You see, if you're praying for financial need that you have that seems totally impossible, it's not. The key is trust in God. Believe in God. Have faith in God. Don't doubt. It doesn't matter what your need is. You say, preacher, what's impossible? Anything that you can't do anything about. I don't know how else to say it. That's about as easy as you say it. Anything that you cannot do anything about, that you cannot change for the better, is impossible. Those things are the things that God is concerned about. Brother Johnson and his wife had come here to the children's ministry. His grandmother wrote a song many years ago. She got up and sang it one night. She goes, I just wrote this song. I'm not going to sing it. I only know about 3 words. But she said, I wrote this song. She said, God impressed it on my heart. Because she goes, we categorize things. And she wrote a simple little song called God's Mindful of the Little Things. And she sang that song that night, and it was a simple song. It almost sounded like a children's song. But there was people crying all over the church just for the words, God's mindful of the simple things. In God's eyes, there is no big or little. We categorize our problems. And when we say we categorize our problems, that's when they become our problems. If you're going to categorize them for God, you just file them under problem and give them to Him. Would you stand with me this morning? I feel like there's some here this morning. You just need to, not that you haven't, I'm not saying that you haven't been trusting God. That's not what I'm saying. Before somebody thinks it's wrong. I'm not saying that. But there's some things that you're really trying to trust God in, and the devil's trying to play games with you. And he's trying to tell you it won't happen. He's trying to tell you it can't happen. But I want you to know something. If you're facing an impossibility, I want you to come up and we're going to pray. And we're going to believe God. And God is going to turn that impossibility into a possibility. And from a possibility, He's going to turn it into an actuality. Amen. He's going to turn it into what you need. While Sister Bertha plays this morning, if you're here and you say, Pastor, I'm trying, I'm doing, I'm trusting God, but my impossibility just doesn't seem to be changing. I want you to come because I believe this morning that God can change it. I don't know about you, but I believe that God can do anything. We sing that song, God can do anything. My God can do anything. And then something comes along and we say, I sure hope God can. Oh, He can. Your hoping ain't going to help. I said, your hoping ain't going to help the situation. It's going to be believing. And I know that God has the answers for some people this morning. But you can't get the answer unless you allow God to give it to you. If you're here this morning and you're facing an impossibility, there's something going on, and you say, I want you to come. We're going to pray. Don't be bashful. I told you, we're just family. We're just family. I got friends that will call me up and tell me far more about their illnesses and their illnesses than I want to know. You're my friend, I love you. I don't need to hear that. Let's just pray. Let's just pray. And that's what we are here today to do. We're not here to discuss it. The devil likes you to discuss your impossibility. You say that. The devil likes for you to talk about it. Because if he can keep you talking about it, he can keep you down about it. If he can keep you talking about it, he keeps that thing alive in your mind. And when that thing is alive in your mind, then your faith goes out the window. Because you can't have faith and unbelief at the same time. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not saying you don't believe God. I'm just saying that this. If you can't fix it, come up here with people that believe in God and believe in God that can and will fix it and let Him fix it. That's what I'm saying. While she plays a little bit longer, if you have a need, I want you to come. Don't take it home with you. Don't take it home with you. Bring it up and give it to God. That's what we're here for. That's why we come to church. them that couldn't be done any other way. Well, I love that stuff. I like those testimonies myself. I like to give those kind of testimonies. Hey, you want to hear something? This is cool. God is here. We're going to wait just a little bit. God is here. If you need prayer, we want you to come. Brother Dick, would you come? Brother Jason, Brother John, would you come? Folks, I'm telling you, God is here. I believe He's here. If you have something, whether it's physical, spiritual, in your family, I don't care. I don't care. If it's an impossibility, God is here. We're going to pray for Sister Jean. We're going to pray for Sister Josephine. I want you to come. We'll go back here with understanding. If there was one, let me say this before we pray. If there's one person in this church that I have utmost respect for believing God, and that's Brother Steve. That man right there, folks, has more faith. He has more faith than what I've seen in anybody in a long time. Brother John, living good, would you come up? We're going to pray for Brother Stan. But folks, that's what it takes. That's the kind of faith it takes. Now, the scripture says to call for the elders of the church. And it said they would pray the prayer of faith. They would pray the prayer of faith. And then they would what? Recover. Recover. I told you this story. I don't know why I'm saying it. We were 10 months ago, they stole my furniture. You know what was the best words I heard the other day when I got that phone call? We have recovered. We have recovered your vehicle. We have recovered. And when I got it, it was just like they took it. You see, when God recovers for you, it's going to God, so here, God, you did this. Oh, let me tell you, she has a friend. They're going to do a liver transplant, or she's going to die. But I believe God can perform the impossibility this morning, friends. I believe God can perform the impossibility. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, you know where this praise. God, you know God, right now, He's giving you the impossibility. God, the man can't change. No one can change. God, only you, God, can change this. Oh, God, right now, in the name of Jesus. Oh, God, turn this impossibility, God, into an action, God, into an answer, God. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, God, right now. Yes, God. Oh, yes, Lord. God, the power of prayer, God. Oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. Yes, Lord. Hey, God. In the name of Jesus. Yes, God. Yes, God. In the name of Jesus. 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 Jim, up here. God didn't show me anything. It's things that I know. But I know only God can change it. I know only God can change it. Father, God, in the name of Jesus. God, you know the things that she has need of. God, you know the needs that she has. God, the impossibilities. God, right now. God, in the name of Jesus. God, right now. In the name of Jesus. God, every one of them, God, everything, every thought, God, everything. You know every need. God, you know how to hold me. God, you know how to make things God, right now. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. God, touch her body. God, strengthen her, God. The pain that she suffers, God, let it be gone right now. God, let the pain, the very cause of it, be gone right now. Oh, God, shout. God, right now. In the name of Jesus. Oh, God, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. God, right now. That's it. Just praise Him. Just thank Him for it. Just thank Him for it. Give Him the praise for it. Oh, God, right oh, God, right now. God, right now. God, right now. Shut the look. Oh, God, right now. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Oh, God. In the name of Jesus. God, let me do it. God, let me do it. Jesus. Yes, Jesus. Father, we thank you. Begin to praise Him for the hands. God, I thank you for victory. God, I thank you for victory. Oh, God. Thank you, Jesus. Just praise Him. Yeah, just praise Him. Just praise Him. Oh, listen, power, the Spirit of God is out. Just let go and just praise Him. Just let go and just let God have it. Oh, God. Yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. Sing a praise now. God, you know His name. God, He has God, heal Him. God is no impossibilities with you. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we speak healing. God, it's not your will for your children. It's not your will that they're afflicted. God, right now, we ask that you heal Jesus. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you, Lord, that we know that you have turned some impossibilities into possibilities. God, we know that you have heard our cries. God, we know that you've seen our hearts and heard our prayers. You've seen our faith. Now, God, we thank you for doing what we have asked you to do this morning. Father, we thank you for touching, healing, meeting every need, God, in this house. Father, we just thank you. And we just praise you. In Jesus' name. So I want to thank each one of you for being here this morning. We've got a potluck dinner next door. We'd like for you all to come over. And our countertop's still ain't there, John, but that's all the rest of us done. But you know what? They'll get there when they get there. But we now have a nice thanks to Brother John and Brother John Living Good, and of course many others that have spent many hours on some long hot days doing some hard labor to have such a beautiful place for us to go and fellowship. And we want to invite all of you over there. Please don't nobody leave. We'd like for everybody to stay. And I mean that sincerely. If I have to go lock those doors, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to let you out. No, I'm just kidding. But we would like for everybody to come over and have a time of fellowship. And you know what? Let's just enjoy what God has blessed us with. Brother JC, would you dismiss us in prayer and just go ahead and bless the food?
Heavenly Father, we just give you praise, Lord, that you love us. Oh God, we are so blessed to be your children, Lord. And Lord, all the impossibilities in the world are possible through you. And Father God, we just give you praise for what you're doing. Father, we just pray that you bless this time of fellowship, bless the food, let it give strength to our bodies that we may glorify you. Have your way in all of our lives. In the name of Jesus, we pray.